Hello, hello. Welcome back to a brand new show. You guys, I'm so excited you are here. I am sharing a conversation I had with Meg Stratton. We attempted this episode to be recorded 8 times. I repeat, 8 times. Welcome to the joys of podcasting throughout a pandemic. And it was insane, but we both powered through, and I cannot wait to share the full episode with you. But a quick little bio on Meg. She is crazy passionate about helping women live their best life. She is a wife, a mama to a 3-year-old little girl, and she has another little girl on the way. And she lives in the scenic city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. You guys, her Instagram stories are amazing. I just need to be one with nature at the moment. Who's with me? Raise your hand. Megan works full-time for Green Media as a regional sales manager and hosts the Unshaken Podcast. And I was a guest on her show, and I linked that in the show notes. You guys can take a listen to it later on. The Unshaken Podcast is a faith-led sales and marketing show. She has also been in the digital marketing field for over a decade, and when she isn't working, you can find her by the water, eating oysters, and hanging with her family. Welcome to the Happy Workaholic Podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. Over the past 20 years, I've worked in beauty, luxury, corporate, and service-driven industries. I created the opportunity in these careers and in my own businesses that allowed me to travel the world, experience once-in-a-lifetime events, and build brands while providing my expertise to clients all around the globe. Life is short, and when you're given a second chance, you better believe I'm going to take it, celebrate it, and share it with you. This show is intended to elevate your mind, upgrade your business, enhance your life, and become part of a positive and uplifting community. If you are ready to take your business and life to that next level you deserve to be at, this is the show for you. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today. Tune in every week to hear from myself, other entrepreneurs, professional patients, small business owners, and fellow podcasters who will be featured on the show. I'm here to remind you to work hard, share your story, follow your dreams, and never, ever give up. Thanks for taking the time to subscribe to the Happy Workaholic Podcast. Today's episode starts now. Hello, and welcome back to a brand new show. Today's episode has been recorded specifically for the I Chose This Life series, where I get to share conversations I've had with fellow entrepreneurs. If you are somebody looking to take your business and life to that next level you deserve to be at, or if you're just craving some personal development content, or you just like some great conversations, today's episode is for you. And here comes today's guest. Hey, Megan, how are you?
I am hanging in there. What about you?
I'm good. So you guys, I just want to share something with you. I think this is our 8th or 9th attempt trying to record here because we have had all the drama around podcasting. So I definitely want to get into that. But Megan, can you explain to us how you got into marketing and your corporate job? And then I want to dive into some good podcasting.
Yes, absolutely. And you're right. We have been so persistent. I'm proud of us.
I'm so proud of us.
Like our 8th try. Sure. So my first job I fell into by accident when I graduated college. So when I first went to college, I had a personality. I decided I was going to be a lawyer. My dad is a lawyer. That's what I wanted to do. I did an internship. I took the LSAT, and I decided that was the absolute worst thing that I could do was to go down that path, because I ended up just realizing that it was not for me. And so after that, I needed to come up with another plan. And they had an opening for a marketing and events coordinator in the same town that I graduated college. So that was my first dip in the marketing pool. And from there, I got headhunted off of LinkedIn, started working for broadcast television stations, and love that job. That's still what I do today. So I've been working in media, broadcast, and digital for the past 7 years. And currently I work for Green Media. So we own over 190 television stations across the country. So chances are, just depending on where you live, one of the stations that is locally there in your market is Gray TV station. And I'm a regional sales manager for the digital marketing side of things. So I have 10 TV stations underneath me that I travel to and help them close business with advertising, marketing, focusing in the healthcare field, and on the digital side. So that is where I am currently, and that's how I got in the short version, cliff notes of to be in that position.
Ooh, Cliff Notes. I like that. I'm gonna steal that from you because our stories are so long. This is another reason why I love podcasting, because how many times have you and I talked? And we always say we have so much in common between LinkedIn and just marketing and podcasting. I never knew about your legal past. That's crazy, because I'm supposed to take the bar next year.
I do remember us talking about that very briefly, but yeah, I mean, my brother was a political consultant, my mom was a court reporter for years, and then my dad has been practicing law for over 35 years now, so it was just a natural fit. And then after I did my internship, nothing against the legal field at all, but my internship where I was, it was very heavy in like child abuse and animal abuse, and
oh wow,
I just don't have the heart for it. Yeah, absolutely. So my dad had kind of warned me ahead of time that I am on more the creative side and like to do things like that instead of being in an office environment. And turns out he was right, and I'm glad that I listened.
I know that's the one thing I have to do, because in California you don't have to go to law school, but I do need to do the internship. So basically that's what Kim Kardashian is doing. Then you can take the bar.
I could totally see you being like a VA lawyer.
I have to do medical malpractice. That is my experience. So I've already been offered a job. It's insane. I don't know, like lately, like if that's going to be a thing, but for a long time, since June, that's all I've been working on. But that's so crazy that you have that past. And like another thing we can add to our commonalities. Right. Now, what made you want to start your podcast? I know that you launched it with a host, and this is where I really want to talk to you, because I always say the same thing to my clients, and there's no rules in podcasting. You can be as creative as you want. You can structure it the way you want. It's like another way of you sharing your story and sharing stories of others. Like I have you on today for the I Chose This Life series. This is featuring other entrepreneurs, and it's a series I created. So what happened? Like, give us the rundown of, or the backstory, the Cliff Notes rather, of how you started your show with your host, and then you pivoted. So now the content that you're providing on your own show, is it a lot different than it was before? Because I want to share the story of how different it is, because, again, there's no rules, and a lot of podcasters listen to this show. So I want them to hear someone else's story of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it really started because I had my first child. So I say that because I was so defined by my career. I mean, I tried to run as fast as I could up the corporate ladder, and then you have a huge life event. So like your illness, or having a child, or getting married, or all of these big life events that happen to us, they change us like forever, and, in positive ways, of course, too. So when I had my daughter, I had really, really bad postpartum depression. I wasn't at work and getting that constant, reinforcement of you're doing good work and you're helping people and you're really great at your job, because I wasn't at work. I was on maternity leave. And I started listening to podcasts. I had been in digital marketing for 7 years at that point, and had really never dabbled into podcasts. And after I started listening to them, I thought, I have to create something for other women just like me, who are multi-passionate, who have chased, their corporate job down. They're happy. They're where they want to be. They're growing their families. They're trying to do all these things, and there's no community around for them to bounce ideas off of or talk to people that are in similar situations. So I'm going to create it. So I reached out to my former co-host, Courtney, who also worked with me in broadcast television, and we created the Unshaken Podcast. So when we first started it, it launched in February of 2019, and it was a show of multi-passions. We talked about how we've been multi-passionate about things, but we talked about everything from how to create a life and cultivate a life that you were proud of and that you loved, how to decorate your house, how to get organized, how to have a better marriage, how to have better communication skills. And I, in the life that I have, that corporate side of me and in marketing and sales, is really what I'm super, super passionate about and have a lot of experience in. So what we decided to do was to start releasing 2 episodes a week, and one of them was the business series with Megan. And I started talking about marketing and sales and conversion and coaching and strategy and just all the things that I could talk all day long about. And those episodes were doing 2 to 3, sometimes 4 times the numbers of our regular episodes. And our listeners, you can just tell, were shifting, and that was the content that it was very clear that they were craving. And so we decided to rebrand. Courtney decided she was going to take her life in a different direction, and she started really working in interior design, which is what she's passionate about. And I rebranded the podcast in March of this year, right in the middle of this pandemic, to the Unshaken Podcast with just Megan Stratton. So now it's all about marketing and sales, and that type of thing, but it's just much more driven towards what I know and what I love and what I hope to help others with. So it definitely was a pivot, not only in content, but, going from a co-hosted show to a single person show, was a challenge, but it's been great. And I know that, it was definitely the right decision. So that's where we are today.
I'm so excited for all your new episodes to come out. And, a lot of people, you guys that are listening that are just launching a podcast or have had a podcast, paying attention to your downloads and your numbers are so important, because that's how you can really see what type of content I should keep, continue to share. The highest downloaded episode of mine still to this day is titled How to Fire Your Doctor. It's insane. Anything with medical information, anything with PTSD, trauma, anxiety, those are my highest downloads because people are searching for that content. So to pay attention to your downloads is just so important. And then, isn't it crazy? We were talking, Megan just interviewed me for her show because we were on a mission today since we've attempted this so many times.
That's right.
And we were talking about our intros. And if you're new to podcasting and you got it on the first shot, props to you. But there is so much more work involved in podcasting than people can even imagine, especially writing scripts, recording intros, and then for you, so you started with the host. So co-host, I've never had a co-host, but I did were you doing a lot of interviews, or is it more of you guys?
When we started the show, we did 3 interviews a week and then 1 solo show, or 3 interviews a month and then 1 solo show. So we were really, really heavy with guest interviews. And what we found also is that when we started doing more shows where it was just us, those were typically doing better. I mean, if you listen to your audience, they'll tell you what they want. You just have to pay attention. So, yeah, we shifted a lot during the year that we were co-hosting together, but it started out as mostly a guest interview show.
Now, what's your schedule like now that it's a solo show? Are you doing interviews every other week, every week, 2 shows a week? What are you doing now?
Yeah, that's kind of been the beauty of it, too, is that I do whatever I want to do.
Yes, thank you. As long as you let the world know, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, right now, so we just relaunched everything March 19th, so we don't have, it hasn't even been 2 months yet, but the setup right now, if you were to go and look, it is about every other, like you said, so 2 guest interviews and then 2 solo shows. But what I love about that is if this, something hits me and I am ready to record about it. Like most recently, I did an episode on fear, like how right now fear is just such a common theme going through everyone's mind, and how that plays into our business and everything. I didn't know I was going to record that, but it hit me, and I wanted to get it out, and I wanted to get it out to the world. And so I can record it, I can upload it. There's no scheduling anything, and it's just you and your microphone. And sometimes that's the best form of self-care you can have. So it's a mix right now of guest and solo shows for sure, but I'm not sticking to any strict schedule because I don't have to.
Exactly. Preach that. I started opposite. So obviously I've never had a co-host, but I started my show sharing my story and I wanted to help others. And it was just me, myself, and I. It wasn't until last year and a half, I started this particular series, I Chose This Life, interviewing guests. And then I just relaunched 3 different series a couple weeks ago. Oh my God, no, I'm lying. It was almost 2 months ago. This pandemic has my mind. I literally have to look at my calendar. I'm like, that wasn't a couple weeks ago, Kelly. That was like 9.
I know.
And I have to, kind of retrain my brain recording with a guest again, because I took 6 months off before the last 2 months because I was working on my legal cases. It was just too much. I'd be in such a bad mood, and then you can't be happy on a mic. That's the one thing you can't disguise is your voice, I feel like. But it's hard to like kind of shift your show. But then once it happens, you're so excited about it and you're just like on a roll. And then some days, you can take a break. You have a really good Facebook group for your show. So you let them know, and then you come back on the mic and throw up another episode when the time is ready. And that's the joy of podcasting, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, what do you have coming up with the show that you want to share, or coming up with your business? Do you have any LinkedIn programs? I know we were talking about LinkedIn. We're like the OGs of LinkedIn.
I know. Well, I do have a LinkedIn course. I haven't promoted it a ton. It was the first course that I ever made, and I made it on LinkedIn because that is literally every job that I have had, I have gotten from LinkedIn. So I'm very sure that this is how it goes for you too, but people just ask you all the time, like, well, how do you use LinkedIn? And why do you use it? And does it even work? And I have landed all of my jobs from making connections on LinkedIn. So that's what I felt was really easy and an easy fit for me to make. But I have kind of shifted my focus from course creating to one-on-one and even group coaching. And that's really what I'm using my podcast for right now, is not only to give free content to all of these women in business that are really trying to either shift in their business, monetize their business, how to find more leads, just everything that sales, marketing, and conversion strategy, that kind of umbrella, what that does, but giving them the opportunity to work with me one-on-one or in a group coach setting. So that's what I'm most excited about, is launching some group coaching and some different coaching ideas and strategies, because I love people. I was about to say I'm a very personable person, but that's what I want to do, is have like one-on-one or like dedicated time to sit down and say, okay, sister, this is what's going on in your business. This is where I think you should go. How can we create this plan to get you from point A to point B in a life that you absolutely love doing? So using the podcast to kind of funnel those coaching clients and to not only put out free content, but give them the opportunity to have access to me one-on-one.
I love that. And I was asking one of my friends, and it was very strange, and she got furloughed, and everything that's going on with this pandemic. I have a lot of friends that have been laid off and they're furloughed and all of this, and it's just kind of the norm. And the first thing I asked her before that even happened, I think it was like the first week we started hearing things on the news, I said, well, what do you want to do? What is the one thing you want to do right now, other than this job that you've been at for over a decade? Like, if this happens, like, what do you want to do? Because I feel like now, especially like a lot of moms are kind of rethinking the full-time career, being at home with the kids. Maybe they're like, get me out of here at this point. But I feel like being at home has just created a whole new like family structure and dynamic. And I know a lot of people that are making a lot more money being at home right now than they were at their job.
Oh, 100%. And that's the thing too, is that, I have seen so many people across social media just really beating themselves up. Like, I let my kid watch too much screen time, or I'm not eating healthy, or I'm not getting out. And I'm, constantly trying to remind myself too that this is not a normal circumstance. Like, I am not a stay-at-home mom because I know that is not a strength of mine. I love my child. I have another baby that's going to be here in August, and I can't wait. But I know that that's not my strength. Having an online business and having a corporate job, like, that's my jam. You know what I mean? So I love that you say this has really made people like look and try to shift, because so many people, I think before the pandemic too, were like, online businesses, are they valuable? Are they kind of sketchy? Are they scammy? And now people are like, no, that's where it's at. If you can run your business online, then you have a solid foundation no matter what hits, even in a crazy pandemic.
I know, right? And we are just so much in common. It's insane. Like, we have so many things that we do exactly the same, which is so amazing. But oh my God, I miss people so much. And I'm so used to having my business online. And then a couple months ago, when I launched a program, I was going to people's homes, traveling and organizing them and whatever. There was different programs. And so I would show up because that's what people are asking me for. I wish you could come to my home and organize my life. I wish you could come to my home and literally show me how to launch this podcast. I need you next to me showing me the buttons because a video sometimes doesn't cut it. So
right.
I was working on that and then this happens. So I crave the people. I crave the hugs. I crave it's so much.
That's what I miss the most is just people. And
yeah.
I know that, you understand that for sure, but I don't know. And I'm nervous that when everything is lifted and we can still leave our homes and stuff, are handshakes and hugs still going to be a thing, or is everybody going to be scared of each other? So it's really sad, but I miss people for sure.
I know. And you know what else I saw somebody post? What was it? Taking care of your neighbors and going to a friend's house and calling friends. I talked to a friend I hadn't spoken to in 16 years the other day, and it was like we just talked 5 minutes earlier.
Oh, I love that.
Is that still going to happen is the point of her post. Are people still going to work on puzzles with their kids at night? Maybe not, but maybe with more wine. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so unsure, but we just have to go with the flow. So what are some of the things that you do personally as a business owner at home? I know your husband is at home as well, and one on the way and then one running around. What are some of the things that you've had to shift in your business, or what's the way that you are organized when you're working? Do you guys alternate taking care of the little one? What's your schedule like?
It has definitely been, if I would say that it's been a challenge, that's an understatement. It has been extremely hard because I love to set expectations, not only in my corporate job, but I try to set expectations for myself and for how I want things to go. And in life situations right now, no matter what your expectations are, you just need to know they're probably not going to be met because everybody's under a lot of stress. So when I first started with this whole stay at home with my daughter, it was okay, I ordered a bunch of educational stuff, and we were working on our letters, and she's 3, so she's not school age yet, but she was going to daycare. So we're working on letters, and we're working on this, and we're working on that. And as time has gone on, my priorities have just changed. I want her to eat well, get time outside, and just be happy. And if she's happy playing a game on her tablet while I'm on a conference call, I need to know that it's okay that my child is in front of a screen because screens are part of our everyday world now. And it's okay if she's doing that for more than an hour because this is what I have to get done to pay the mortgage, keep the lights on, keep food coming in. So I think it's just been a lot of grace being given and just allowing myself, my expectations to not take over, and just to know hey, this is not normal, so you're not going to be able to act as if it is. But absolutely staying organized. I live and die by my calendar. Even if you and I were to say right now, okay, tomorrow we're going to talk to each other at 2 o'clock. If I don't put it on my calendar, as soon as we get off the phone, it leaves my brain. I'm not going to remember. So staying organized in that sense of keeping everything on a calendar and knowing who I'm supposed to be talking to and when, and whether it's a podcast recording or a coaching session or whether it's a corporate phone call or a client presentation, I live and die by that thing. So I have my calendar obviously online, And I have a paper calendar because if I write it down, my brain will remember it better. So that's what's been keeping me sane lately, is just trying to stay as organized as possible.
Thank you for saying that. You just need to be in your business and in your life. But even now, like during the pandemic, like it's okay to do things. I actually did not shower for 2 days and was in the same pair of pajamas for 2 days. And I did absolutely nothing for the first time in I don't even know how long. I watched shows. That was it. I felt so guilty, but at the same time, I was like, I'm so tired. I can't even take a shower. That's real life.
Yeah. And it's like you said, you know, it's okay. Like you felt guilty. That's how I feel. Like everyone's talking about like binging and watching Netflix and everything. And I did that one day and I felt so guilty. I was like, I need to be doing laundry. I need to clean the house. I need to go for a walk. I need to be meal prepping. And you know what? Like need to do is be lying in your bed in your comfy pajamas, watching this show that you want to watch, because right now that's what your brain is telling you need to do. So just do it.
And that little one growing inside, she needs all the rest.
Yes.
Now, what do you think your biggest takeaway from this pandemic and being at home
biggest takeaway? Well, I will absolutely. I don't know if I can come up with one, but I have two. So I'll give you my top two giveaways.
Okay,
they're
perfect.
A little bit different. And we talked about this a little bit on my show as well, but I have just realized how important it is to take care of yourself. And I'm not just talking about, you know, I'm talking about it holistically. So mind, body, spirit, physically, emotionally, mentally. I have still been talking to my therapist while we've been in this pandemic. No, we're not face to face, but we're on the phone, and I feel better. Like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders every time that I've talked to her. I've been focused on really cleaning up my products that I put on my body, especially being pregnant, but even when I'm not pregnant, I want my skin to be like awesome. I want my, you know, nails and hair and everything. I just want to be healthy. And then, you know, thinking about really what I do put in my body and what I choose to put in my body and how it makes me feel. I think that that's a huge takeaway because, you know, when this whole coronavirus first came out, they were saying it's only going to affect the immunocompromised and the very sick. And then you started seeing people in their 30s and 40s that are runners coming down with the virus and losing the battle to it. So just really, really focusing on my health. That would be my first takeaway. And then my second takeaway would be that if anything, we are all on a level playing field at some point. Like, you know what I mean? No matter who you are or what you're doing. Sure, the celebrities are like at their homes with their huge pools and their 7,000 to 10,000 square foot homes and have a lot more room, but we're all in our houses doing the same thing, wishing that we could be with friends and family. And so, you know, I think it just makes you a lot more grateful, and it makes you more aware of how you want to treat people and yourself when the world starts shifting back to not just the four walls of your house.
So true. And especially with the world, all these photos we're seeing, how in India you can now see the Himalayas and the Venice canals, the dolphins. It's in LA, you can actually see the sky. I saw a before and after photo. It was actually 2 weeks before, 1 week into pandemic, and then recent. And it was unreal, the difference.
Yeah.
Like just everything is going to change.
Of like the earth healing herself, because it just shows you too, like the impact that we have, and whether we realize it or not, like how just a couple of weeks can change things.
I just hope we all go back into like a better world, like better people, better conversations, just taking better care of ourselves, like continuing the good stuff that we're doing now. You know, I just hope everybody stays on that path. I'm crossing my fingers.
Yes, absolutely.
Megan, thank you so much for taking the time to come on today. I am so excited that this is here. This day has come. We did a podcast swap, so we recorded back-to-back episodes, you guys. I cannot wait. I'll link her show when it goes live in this one in the show notes. Where can everybody find you online?
Yeah, so meganstratton.com. It's under a little bit of construction right now because we're moving unshakenpodcast.com over to my.com. But you can find me there, Unshaken Podcast, anywhere that you like to listen to podcasts. And then I hang out on Instagram a lot. So I'm at Meg Strat. And yeah, that's where you can find me the most, either on my feed or in my stories.
Yay. And she does have an amazing Instagram, you guys, and a Facebook group for her podcast. So I will link all of her things in the show notes. So you guys can just click and then go visit Megan. Thanks again so much. I'm so glad we finally got this done today. Huge check mark. And we both have therapy. It's a very productive Friday for us.
Yes, girl. Me too. Go us.
Yes.
To go into the weekend.
Seriously. Thank you so much. Your time is so valuable, and I really appreciate you carving out a little piece of your day to listen to today's episode. If you liked this one, please share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this message. And don't forget to tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram so I can feature you on my stories. Listening on Apple Podcasts, I would love it if you would leave me a review on today's show. Your input means so much and also helps me create more of the content you'll love. Want to continue today's conversation? You can join us in the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. Simply answer the questions and you're in. For more information on myself and to get the latest in business, LinkedIn, organizing, and podcasting news, sign up to receive my weekly newsletter at thehappyworkaholic.com. I hope that your day continues to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive, and I'll talk to you again soon.